Hello and welcome. Welcome to day 2 of our 7 days of rest and radical healing. So I'm Karen Palmer. I am known as Miss Kindness, and I will be your guide for these next 7 days. Every day we will have a different topic that we will go into, and we will enjoy different ways to express ourselves through music, through mudras, through inner journeys. And we will, if you're new, this is Spirituality Gone Wild. I am your host here. This is Spirituality Gone Wild. And if you are new to Spirituality Gone Wild, we are a channel that is dedicated to raising the levels of compassion, gratitude, joy, love, kindness, and peace on earth. So please type into the chat where you're watching from. I'm in Southern California. I am the founder of Global Kindness Going Viral, and I am known as Miss Kindness. I have been going into the schools to teach environmental education, animal advocacy, kindness, compassion, and peace education for almost 20 years now. And so I'm doing today, we have the 7 days of rest and radical healing. So I'm going to share a little bit about the 7 days, and please type in the chat where you're watching from, and let me know who you are out there watching, okay? Thanks so much. And if you're new, please share this out. You can share it to your timeline. You just hit the share button, or you can share it to any groups that you may be members of, or you can share it to any pages that you might manage. So these 7 days of rest, we started yesterday, January 1st. Happy New Year. And this is an annual open co-creative event inviting individuals and groups around the world to initiate and join local and online events for the healing and replenishment of the planet and all its inhabitants. So during this first 7 days of 2021, we unite in seeding the new year with a sacred field of intention and blessing for a thriving world for all of life. Together, we co-create a collective space for each of us to reflect how we can realign with our hearts and with each other and with the intrinsic intelligence and order of nature. Through rest, deep listening, wisdom sharing, and compassionate actions, we amplify the emerging global culture of peace, health, cooperation, and wise governance. So for these 7 days, we will connect in stillness, compassion, inspiration, and dedication to action. We will be removing stress, noise, and toxins, and we will be committing together to a personal and collective planetary healing to set the intention and foundations for co-creating a thriving world that works for all of us. So, thank you for being here. So, I'm going to be talking to you about some really awesome ways that you can do some activities with your children. And this is children of all ages, all children, even adults who have inner children who are dealing with stress or dealing with upset or dealing with uncertainty, which many of us are. Everyone on the planet right now is in this experience of uncertainty. But these exercises and these activities will help you so that you can stay more calm, you can stay embracing more joy and letting go and having less stress. So we're going to be doing some really fun activities. And I encourage you to go to 7daysofrest.org and sign up if you'd like to sign up to be part of this beautiful, beautiful movement. If you'd like to do your own thing and have a show that you do to share any of your wisdom, you're welcome to go to 7daysofrest.org. And if you'd like to be a participant who watches all these amazing broadcasts and incredible people who are dedicated to raising the levels of peace and unity on Earth, then you can go to that also. I'm going to be teaching you some activities that are available on Kokori app. So I'm going to type that into the chat right here. And you can go to kokoriapp.com. And this way, you are able to go into the, to get this app. This is an app that teaches all kinds of ways to play and to reflect and to connect and to grow. So when we play together, this engages us in a direct experience. When we reflect on things, we also participate in focused reflection, and then we feel seen and heard and validated. When we connect, we are making real world connections. So that's something that you can do, and you're growing, so you're internalizing and applying learning. So that's what Kokori is all about. So if you would like to get this app for yourself, you can go to kokoriapp.com, and you can also get this for a teacher in your life. I bought this for my niece. I bought this for a local nonprofit organization and a local children's organization that was in my town. This is how you show that you care. So it also is a way for you to give this gift that keeps on giving. And it saves time by planning hours. And this is a one-stop shop where teachers and parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles can find content and activities all in one place. You can engage learners, and you can show those beautiful children in your life that you care about them. This is what you build empathy, you increase self-awareness, and you are creating connections in a learning environment. This app is made for experiential education for social emotional learning needs. So this is a wonderful way to work with different organizations, different people in your community that you can connect with. Like I said, I got this for a friend of mine who has a children's organization called Youth Empowered. And now she can use this because it has several activities. And this is all about helping to really increase the playability, the connecting, the reflecting, and the learning. So this is what that's all about. I'm also a content creator and one of the spokespeople for the Kokori app. So I'm going to be today going over, so if you go to kokoriapp.com, you can also download a free activity, a wonderful free playbook that you can do with your children that has all kinds of awesome activities. So I'm going to go over those activities with you today as we go into our the second day of fluidity. So what is fluidity? This is what we're going to be talking about today. Fluidity is how fluid, how do you flow? You know, like the water at the ocean comes up and you see the wave come up and you feel that energy of the wave. This is how fluid we are when we are in a state of neutrality, when we have no attachments and no expectations. So when we're in that state of neutrality, that is where we start to feel that fluidity in how we can be more fluid with each other too. So today I'm going to be teaching you a couple of breathing exercises for that. and some different ways of things that you can do for these activities that you can do with your kids. So welcome. Thank you for the hearts, and thank you for letting me know. If you can type in the chat where you're watching from, that would be great. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, make sure you type in where you're watching from so I can give you a shout out when you come in. We'll be doing this for the next 7 days. This is the 7 days of rest and radical healing. So we're holding an intention for everything begins with rest. When we rest, we're able to truly, truly listen to that energy that is inside of us that I think is so important to teach children to get quiet so that they can understand that the answers are not outside of them and that they have all the answers inside. And that when they are looking for outside approval or outside recognition, then they find themselves constantly in search of this need and this desire to have others show them love and teach them how they need to be in order to get love or to be considered acceptable. Why not teach our children how to accept and love themselves first? Then they can start to look outside as an added bonus. But be that feeling, teach your children at a very young age, as soon as they can speak, that they are perfect, whole, and complete, that there is nothing missing in them. Because we've been taught in a society that we are missing, like that we're half of somebody, like the better half, my better half, like my husband is my better half. Now that is a really, really flawed premise. That is a really flawed belief, because we are whole and complete just as we are. We are already perfect, whole, and complete. So if we can really bring that into a regular, teaching of a regular moment with our children, and every time that we have a chance where we can talk to them about this important topic of how do we feel more fluid in our life? How do we feel more flow so that we are just flowing with what is coming and going? And knowing that as we come and as we go, we are still perfect, whole, and complete. That there are people who will come and go from our lives. When we have children who are having friends who have to move away, and then our children feel like, I'm losing my best friend. What do I do? What do I do? I'm losing my best friend. Teach your child how to be their own best friend, so that when people come and go from their life, that they are accepting of it because they know that they are already whole and complete, that they have the acceptance inside of them, and that that's the most important thing that you can teach your child is self-awareness and self-acceptance, self-love, and self-trust. So that's what we're going to be going over today. And what we can really do with ourself is our breath. This is one thing that you can teach your children that they have control over, right? So we don't have control over how anybody else treats us. We don't have control over what other people say to us. We don't have control over how outside circumstances happen, but we do have control over our breath. Right? So if we teach our children that they have control over their breath. So if you're new and you're coming in, I'm encouraging you to go to kokoriapp.com and you can get free activities that I'm talking about right now. I'm a content creator for Kokori. And this is these are some wonderful activities that you can do with children of all ages and with adults of all ages. Adults need to learn how to breathe. Many adults on the planet right now need to learn how to breathe. They need to learn how to rest. They need to learn how to reconnect. They need to listen to their own inner wisdom, their own self-trust. We all are struggling with outside circumstances that are beyond our control right now. Lots and lots of things are happening on the planet right now where we don't have control over that. But what do we have control over? We have control over our thoughts. We have control over our beliefs. We have control over our breath. And we have control over our mood and our emotions and our feelings. Now, we've been taught to believe that our feelings just get out of control. And sometimes we just feel like we've stuffed it down long enough and we've got to let it go. But that's so ridiculous, because if we teach our children to push their feelings down, eventually they're going to have illnesses and they're going to have upset and they're going to have all kinds of problems. But if we teach them how to self-regulate, how to be self-aware, how to have self-love and self-care, and learning how to breathe is the number one thing, I think, is what we can teach our children, especially if you have children who are over-emotional, that are very emotional. And there is no over-emotional. I shouldn't say over-emotional. Emotions are a gift. They are a GPS. They are letting us know when we are in tune with our self-awareness, or when we have stepped away from our self-awareness and we are trying to please or do what we think others want us to do. So our emotions get really activated when somebody hurts us or says something that really upsets us. But what if you can teach your child how to self-regulate, so that when somebody says something to them that is hurtful or upsetting, that they can go within and they can check in and they can ask they can think, so they can say, wait a minute, stop, and then bring their hands to their heart and do an ocean breath. So ocean breath is where we breathe in through our nose and out through our nose, kind of making a swishy sound with our nose. So we do 3 of those. If we do 3 of those breaths, we start to quiet the amygdala of our brain, and we are activating the prefrontal cortex. So the amygdala is where we are in our fears, our doubts, our insecurities. And the prefrontal cortex is where we are confident and we feel very aware and we feel very centered. So this is what we can do for our children. The first breath is ocean breath. That's a powerful breath. The second breath is called volcano breath. Volcano breath is when we have anger, and there's nothing wrong with anger. We have made it out to be something so dangerous, but it's only dangerous when we suppress it. It's only dangerous when we don't know how to gently express it. So anger is a gift. It's showing us I've stepped away from my power and I'm giving my power away by being angry to somebody else. So allowing yourself to bring your hands in to your chest, taking a deep breath, teaching your children, when you feel angry, something has upset you that's outside of you, that you don't have control over. Remember, what you do have control over is your breath and your emotions and your sense of awareness. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath in and think about what it is that you're upset about and push it up and out. And bring it in and breathe in and allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. I'm so overwhelmed right now with this test that I have to take. You can teach that to a teenager. You can teach that to a college student. You could teach that to your husband. You could teach that to your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. You can teach it to anybody, and you can help them so that when they're angry, they have less of that emotion taking over and controlling them, but their breath is bringing them in to what they can control, which is your feelings, your emotions. When you express yourself with love, with this is what I need. These are my needs and these are my desires and this is what I am angry about. And teaching them how to use their words, because their word is their wand, and helping them to understand that these words are so important. And the third breath that I'm going to go over is belly breath. So this is what fluidity is all about. The lesson is fluidity, and I'm teaching you beautiful activities that you can get from the Kokori app at kokoryapp.com. So if you are interested in getting these activities, there is a free playbook that you can download that has different activities that you can do. And this is what it's all about, is really understanding how to be more fluid, how to go with the flow of understanding, acceptance. Understanding and acceptance brings you into self-regulation so that you can regulate yourself, and you can help to teach your children how to regulate themselves so that they are not wanting to hurt others or themselves. You know, when children know how to regulate their emotions and navigate what they're feeling, they're able to express themselves without having temper tantrums. A temper tantrum is not knowing how to breathe. You can teach a 2-year-old this. You can teach any age these techniques. Another breath is a really fun one that many children really like to do, and it's called belly breath. Now, when we are breathing, taking quick breaths, like we're frustrated. Have you ever noticed when a kid is very upset that they can't seem to put their words together and they're trying to say what's upsetting them? That is what we're not in belly breath, right? So if we're not in belly breath, we are almost hyperventilating. This is what anxiety is. Anxiety is, it's thinking about something that hasn't happened yet and being upset by it. That's anxiety. And that's regret, is thinking about something that happened before in the past and not knowing what to do about it and feeling guilty or ashamed. And this is, blame and shame and guilt is the way that most children deal with their emotions. A lot of parents don't even know how to teach their children how to breathe because they're not doing it themselves, right? So this is why it's so important for us to learn these techniques for ourselves and then share them with our family, with our friends, with our neighbors, with our community. And this is why it's so important to have this fluidity in our life. So this is called belly breath. Now, what you can do for belly breath is you place your hand on your belly so you can feel the belly rise and fall. And you take that deep breath in and you feel that breath. Oh, it feels so good. Your belly rises. And then as you breathe out, make it very slow, like you're breathing out a candle. So if you can do this with a child 5 times in a row, while they're upset, when they're upset, in the moment of when they feel that upset and when they feel that really, really, I don't know what to do, Mom. I don't know what to do, Dad. I don't know what to do, Grandma. I don't know what to do, Auntie. I don't know what to do, Uncle. This is what you teach them. You teach them, you do know what to do. Remember, you have a superpower. It's your breath. And bring that in and teach them, put their hand on the belly, bring their finger out right in front of their mouth. Take a deep breath in through the nose and breathe out like you're blowing out a candle, very slow. So easy. And it starts to help us to feel so much better. Another beautiful thing that you can do is a gratitude jar. You can have a gratitude jar. So a gratitude jar is where you focus on things that are working in your family, and you are focused on those gratitude moments, and you're putting them into you can get a really fun cookie jar. You can put it in a cookie jar, or you can put it in a vase, a flower vase. But you can create this gratitude jar, and every time you see your child feeling grateful for something, say, let's write that down. Let's write that down. Let's put that into the gratitude jar. Because what that does is it brings them into that feeling of gratitude. And gratitude is the most powerful tool that can help you with any emotion outside of, grief or sadness or disappointment or anger. Gratitude is the antidote to any emotion. You can bring in gratitude for whatever is happening, right? No matter what's happening on the outside. I'm grateful that my heart is beating. I'm grateful that I can see. I'm grateful that I have a mom and a dad that love me. I'm grateful that I have a mom that has stuck with me through it all, even if my dad has left and isn't around anymore physically. These are things that you can do with your children to give them this empowerment. That's what it's all about. So fluidity today, use your breath, use your self-awareness, use your self-trust, use your self-love, and teach everyone around you that they can be fluid too. And think about the fluidity of the ocean, of the rivers, of all the ways that water help us. And see that fluid and trust in this. And know that you have so much wisdom inside. And that fluidity is flowing all the time. There's an inner wisdom. There's an inner guidance. There's inner awareness. There's inner love. And there's a overflowing, beautiful energy where there is more than enough love, unconditional love. Teach your children that there is unconditional love within them. Teach them there is unconditional acceptance within them. Unconditional awareness within them. And then outside becomes an added bonus. And everything else will fall into place. All right, so that's it for today. That was fluidity. Tomorrow is transmutation. I will be talking to you about transmutation. And again, visit the 7daysofrest.org and check out the kokoriapp.com. If you want to get any of these activities, if you want to get the app for a teacher or somebody in your life, maybe an aunt or an uncle, or you want to get it for one of your nieces or your nephews, maybe you are the aunt or the uncle or the grandma, or you are the stepmom, or you want to get it for for one of your students, for one of your children's teachers. These are wonderful, wonderful gifts that you can check out at kokoriapp.com. And join us in the 7 days of rest and radical healing. Thank you for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.